Hi everybody, I'm Bridget from the Witches Ranch and Homestead, and since October is over and it is November, we are going to start our 30 days of gift giving. So I know Christmas is a way away and it's a bad word right now for a lot of people, but it's going to come sooner than you know. So the first thing we are going to make as our first gift is some name tags, because you can't give a gift without name tags. However, we're going to make cinnamon name tags. You can also use these as little cinnamon ornaments. They're real cute. You can tie back your curtains with them or put them on your tree or make a little separate tree in your kitchen and hang the little ornaments on them. But I think they're really cute as a name tag. You can also, we're going to use hearts today to make our name tags. And it's just a regular old cookie cutter. It was my grandma's. But you can use leaves if you prefer and do the exact same thing, but then you can make a Thanksgiving tree and a blessing tree. And have, after you use your little leaf to stamp it out, have everybody use a Sharpie and write on the back of it their blessing and do a blessing tree. So if you're not quite in the mood for Christmas yet, make a blessing tree instead. So what we need, just have a nice clean bowl. Wash your hands first so everything's nice and clean. You can tell I'm a mom. I tell that to my kid all the time. But start with 1 cup of flour. Just white flour is fine. If you have wheat flour, that's fine also. I just use plain white flour. Dump that in. So 1 cup of flour, and then 1/2 cup each. 1/2 cup of white table salt, and 1/2 cup of cinnamon. And I just poured it all in one just to save on dishes. I'm going to shake that in there. And then you will need 1 cup of pretty warm water. I mean, not boiling at all, but pretty, hot, like you wash your hands in. And I start with about 3/4 of the cup, because you may not need it all. Go ahead and stir it in. And just put it in the bowl and just kind of give it a toss. It's a really nice dough to work with. It's good for the kids to work with. So give it a stir. So you can see that's still way too crumbly. So I'm going to put in about another 1/2 inch of water. You don't want it to be too sticky or it'll be difficult to work with. So it's pretty good. You can see we're stirring it up and you want it to clump together, more or less Play-Doh consistency. And then it's good to work with or have the kids work with. So we'll have a nice cinnamon scent. Let's see, it's still just a little bit crumbly, so I'm going to put a little tiny bit more in. A little bit goes a long way, so always use it sparingly. Because you can always add more, but if you dump more in than you want, then you got to go back to adding everything else, the flour and the salt and the cinnamon. Okay, that's pretty good. I am going to add orange essential oil, because I love the smell of orange and cinnamon together. And I add 15 or 20 drops. And just to give it an extra hint of cinnamon, I'm going to put cinnamon bark in there, just because I want the house to smell really good through the holidays. And I'm going to put about 10 in there. And then just give it another good stir. And see how that's kind of like forming a ball in there? It's ready then. So, to save your mess and save everything being sticky, put a wax paper down on top of a cutting board. If you don't have a bigger cutting board, you can invert a cookie sheet and use a cookie sheet. Go ahead and dump your dough out. So a nice big ball of dough. A good trick to not having your rolling pin stick is hit it with your pan with the cooking spray and simply roll out your dough. If you do find your dough is too sticky, go ahead and use a little bit more flour. I always keep it handy right here just in case I want any. And let's give that a roll. I like mine to be about 1/8 of an inch thick. Do them how you like them. If you like them a little thicker, that's okay too. They'll just take a little longer time to dry. Now this recipe is really nice because you do not have to bake it. You don't have to put it in the oven at all. So just take your little cookie cutter, put it on there and give it a wiggle. And then just go all the way around like that. Give it a little wiggle. Now you can bake these if you want. If you're impatient and you want them done right away, go ahead and pop them in the oven. Probably 30 minutes at about 200. Just kind of keep checking them. And as you do them, I guess you guys can't see. Let's move it towards me. Go ahead and stamp your hearts like that. Then instead of trying to pick up the hearts, because they'll kind of fall apart and make a mess, peel your dough away from the side. And just keep doing that with all your dough. And then we can redo your dough again. See how easily that peeled aside? And you have your hearts. And take your toothpick and make, about a pea-sized hole, because it'll shrink up a little bit. And that is where you'll tie your pretty ribbon. So you can either give these as an ornament gift. You can put like 6 in a pretty little tin with a ribbon, or you can tie them on as your name tag, which is what I'm going to do. They look really cute on a teacher's gift, or you can hang them on your tree, or you can make a Thanksgiving tree. So there's your little hearts. I'll continue to do this, then peel it all aside, then just simply bulk all your excess together again and roll it out again, and that's all you have to do. So that is our first Thanksgiving month of November gift idea. So if you have and then there's something else I wanted to mention. There is one other recipe out there, and it's pretty popular. It calls for applesauce and cinnamon instead of the flour and the salt. The reason I don't use that one is a lot of times, just to get that dough to have a good consistency, you have to add glue to it. It'll call for Elmer's glue, so I completely avoid that. I don't want to have the chemicals in mine. I want them to be nice and fresh and natural. So, but if you do have a different recipe, go ahead and put it in the comments, and we can all learn from each other. And I will see you tomorrow for our second day of gift giving. Thanks.